All right, so this is video number 3 out of 3 for section 2.3. So you're going to want to go all the way down to the bottom of your notes. We're going to talk in this video about increasing, decreasing, and constant. This gray box has a lot of geek speak in it, so bear with me. I'll walk you through what it means in English. So let's talk about the first one. If my function is increasing, then basically what we can say is that as we read from left to right, the graph is going uphill. That's what increasing means. As you read the graph from left to right, it's going uphill. My function is decreasing when it's going downhill as I read from left to right. And it is very important to make sure that you read your graph from left to right. Lastly, my function is constant when it's staying constant. A couple of things here to decide whether a function is increasing or decreasing or constant. Ask yourself, what is y doing as x moves left to right? Is y going up or is y going down? All right, so our definition of increasing, decreasing, and constants behavior, it only applies to open intervals of the domain, not to specific points. And there's a couple things that I really want to point out here. So we're always going to use intervals. That's one thing to get from this. We're always going to use intervals. Secondly, it's always going to be in the domain. Okay, so you're only going to ever use x values. If you try using y values for increasing, decreasing, and constant, it's going to be incorrect. So you're only using domain values, you're only using x values. And lastly, we're not looking at specific points. So not specific points. And I'll walk you through that here in just a second. All right, so what I have here, notice that the figure shows a graph. Yours is probably not colored. I went ahead and put some colored boxes on my graph. The figure shows the graph. Determine the largest open intervals of the domain over which the function is increasing, decreasing, or constant. So we're looking for where is it increasing, where is it decreasing, where is it constant. Now I want you to look at the box that's yellow. The box that is yellow. And notice that since we're only looking at domain, pay attention to the left and the right of the yellow box. The left and the right only of the yellow box. Notice that this yellow box, the left side of it really could go on and on forever and ever. Because that left side, that piece is getting wider and wider and wider and wider. So the left side of my box could actually extend all the way to negative infinity. The right side of my box is at what x value? The right side of my box is at what x value? Sorry about that. Let's get that back here. And so notice that the right side of my box is at the x value of -1. Okay, and what's happening as I move from left to right? When I move from left to right, my graph goes uphill. All right, so that means that the very first part of my graph is going to be increasing. From where to where? It increases from negative infinity, the left side of the box, to -1, the right side of the box. All right, now let's look at the pink box. The pink box is going to go from -1 x value to +1 x value. Only look at the left of the box and the right of the box. And what's happening in that pink box? My graph is going downhill. From left to right, my graph goes downhill. So this is going to be a decreasing portion. So my pink box is decreasing from the x value of -1 to the x value of +1. Last but not least, let's look at the green box. The green box begins at the x value of 1. But also notice there's an arrow. My green box could extend forever and ever and ever to the right. So my green box is going to all be constant values. My constant values begin at the x value of 1 and go forever and ever to positive infinity. All right, let's look at example 10. Example 10 is a figure that shows the relationship between the height of the kite. Notice that this over here is the height in feet. It's my y value. And the time in minutes that the kite is in the air. So this is going to be like my x value. So the most important parts of this is the height in feet, and the other part is the time, t, in minutes. All right, we have some questions to answer. Some of them I've left uncovered. I'm not going to do all of these. I'm only going to do part A and part D. So part A says, what is the maximum height of the kite? All right, so when you look at your picture, notice that this line right here shows the height. The height of the kite down here starts at 0, and the height of the kite here, this is the tallest part of where the kite is. And so you can see that the height of the kite is smack dab in the middle of 150 and 200 feet. So that's going to be at 175 feet. When is that maximum height reached? So this is where I need to pay attention to the minutes down here. And that's going to be at this part right here. So at 5 minutes, this is where the maximum height is reached. All right, so the next thing I want to look at is part D. Notice that it says, when is the height of the kite increasing? When is the height of the kite increasing? Well, we want to work left to right on our graph. So the first time I see it increasing is from here to here. The second time I see it increasing is from here to here. Those are the only two places where the height of the kite increases. So remember, with increasing, we look at intervals, and we're only looking at x values. So the first time the kite increases is from 0 minutes to 5 minutes. And the second time is from 10 minutes to 15 minutes. So we'll uncover those. From 0 minutes to 5 minutes, the kite is increasing. From 10 minutes to 15 minutes, the kite is increasing. Now notice it also says, when is it decreasing? Let's come back to our picture. And I don't think I can erase the other red one because it'll erase my box that I have there. All right, but let's look at when it's decreasing. So I'm going to be decreasing from here to here. And I'm also decreasing from here to here. All right, so these are decreasing from 5 minutes to 10 minutes and from 20 minutes to 25 minutes. So we'll come back down here and answer the question from 5 to 10 minutes and from 20 minutes to 25 minutes. And then lastly, when is it constant? So you notice that occurs only one time, and that's in the purple box from 15 to 20 minutes. So it's constant from 15 minutes to 20 minutes. All right, and that's going to wrap up the videos for this particular section.